So I'm looking at the month in for May of 2026, and I'm realizing that the fleet is doing better, right? There's a couple of things that we need to address, whether it's being able to understand where the majority of the blackouts, or excuse me, where the majority of the losses are coming from, and also a couple other bots that I'm going to stop, right? So nonetheless, I know it's been a while. I'm not going to hold you. I apologize for that, and I really do appreciate y'all's patience. And what I'm going to be going over now is from week 19 to week 22, going over our bots performance, and also going over the year, excuse me, the month in for our bots, because we are seeing a couple of things that are trending in the right direction. Now it's just a matter of being able to compound on that, right? So what's happening, everybody? It's your boy Creative. Go ahead, stay with me. We are back at it again to do what? To create something great. Now, I'm not going to hold you. I'm super excited what I have planned for y'all today. As I stated earlier, what we're going to be doing today is first going over our month to date recap for May 2026. In addition, being able to talk about some of the other updates that I'm expecting and how I'm expecting the fleet to perform for for June, and talking about what we learned for the first 5 months of 2026 so far. So if you haven't already, I need you to go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button. So as you can see here, indicated by this big red number, right? We are in the red right now, but one of the things that I want y'all to keep in note, right, is where can I find the year to date? Okay, hold on. Year to date. Beautiful. Okay, no, year to date. All right. So one of the things that I want y'all to notice, right? Because when I started January of 2026, you see how many red days here, right? And 3 green days. And then it's like, all right, we're doing a little bit better. More green days, right? April, kind of March, kind of a slaughterhouse, right? Only 4. Then April, we had a full green week, right? Now May, it's looking a lot better, bruv, right? There's a lot of things that we're trending up about, and I just want to be able to talk about, like, what are these things, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind, of the 278, this is just for our P&L net for the month. 3 of our bots, right, had 372 losses just consolidated with these 3. And one thing to know is that QQQ is the top 100 tech companies within the NASDAQ, right? For those that aren't familiar, let's find QQQ, and of course it's not on here. So QQQ is the top 100 tech companies within the NASDAQ, and that's one of the ETFs that are one of our bots trade, right? And ETF is an exchange traded fund. When you think of an ETF, I want you to think of it like a quilt, right? And each one of the patches within the quilt represents a different company. This particular ETF is the 100 top tech companies within the NASDAQ, right? So this past month, we have it up just under 10%. For the month, we took 297 trades, and we have a win percentage of 54%. So these are binary options that we're trading, meaning that we're betting either that the market is going to go up by buying a call option, or betting that the market is going to go down by buying a put option, right? And this is completely automated. All the bots go from finding the signal, being able to find the option contract, manage the position, and also close the position. So it's automated from start to finish, right? So from week 19, we have a trend. We lost 44 bucks, right? But that was 49 trades. We're looking at 51%. Then we had a blackout. And this blackout was because I was migrating the bots from one folder to the next. Reason being so is because there was just a lot of things happening in one of our other project folders that I won't get into now, but I had to migrate them, and I had to create another data provider, create another data provider hub. So that was just a bit of code work that I had to do. So that's why I didn't trade the week 20 and week 21 through 22nd. We're seeing when we first migrated over, there was a lot of bugs that we had to fix. Excuse me. Didn't want to cough in your ear. There's a lot of bugs that we had to fix, so resulting in a $306 loss, right? Then once we fix the bugs, now we're up, right? Now we're in recovery mode. So the top 4 bots that are performing well, we have Banker's Hours. Banker's Hours for the month, We're looking at $73 in profit. Screeny, of course, is always going to be on the leaderboard. We're looking at another $70 in profit. Midas is another interesting one, right? And I think I'm going to make a dedicated video on being able to talk about how Midas trades, because this is one of the bots that I'm thinking about being able to put like actual money behind, because this one is super interesting, bruv. We're looking at $26 for Midas, and then ADXBaby, we're looking at 15 bucks, right? Now let's talk about the losers real quick for a little bit. Now CS can't stop, won't stop, right? CSWS can't stop, won't stop, right? One of these bots down 132. Bruhigotit. I had to pause this bot. Reason being so is because the strategy is not work. So that's the thing that I've been noticing when it comes to being able to go in our process, right? Because as we all know, right, our process is being able to have a strategy, being able to backtest the strategy, being able to use any machine learning or optimization, walk forward. And then right now we're in paper testing, right? What I'm noticing is that from backtesting to paper testing, there's a little bit of a gap, right? So that's why I want to be able to like restart Bruhigotit and Breakout Baby, because there's a little bit signs of overfitting when it comes to actually being able to run live. So this is one of the bots that we're going to stop. And then early worm, it's just a long story with that one, right? So one of the other things to be able to keep in mind, just out of these three bots, right? Bruhigotit, I did stop. Breakout Baby, I'm still working on being able to turn it around. And can't stop, won't stop. It's too early to tell, right? These three bots lost $372, right? Now, one thing that I want to be able to keep in mind is that, yes, it's great to be able to automate your trading, but it's also great to be able to take the emotion out of it, right? Because it took some while, I'm not going to hold you, to make these strategies. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to being able to pull them off the shelves. But when it comes to a point where they're not trending upwards, right, then we have to talk about being able to get them down. So let's talking about trends, right? So this is one of those things that's just kind of like, does it make sense, right? For week 21, we're looking at can't stop, won't stop is trending in the right direction, right? From the prior week, we're looking at $102. Now we're looking at 120. But just overall for the month, there was just a couple of trades that is just like really not making it do well, right? A couple other bots that we had to stop was our Collie Baby. VWhopper has to come back alive. Bruhigotit. A couple other things like, come on. We also had Claude Code trading a couple times. It did one trade, and that one trade it lost. So that's just one thing to be able to keep in mind. And let's just talk about the market context real quick. So for the month, we have QQQ as the overall leader. Now you're going to have tech. Now tech is a little bit more volatile, right? We had the month open at 674, and it's well in the 700s right now. You're looking at a 9.5 point jump for QQQ. SPY did go on a little bit of a run, but not as big as QQQ, right? And what we've seen also in this month is option pricing damn near got a little bit more expensive due to IV, implied volatility. And that's just another one of those things that takes into account like what is the overall premium for the option is going to be. When you have high IV, people are anticipating a big move, so that's going to impact the option premium, the price that we pay, the bots pay in order to get into a contract. And then we have low IV, you're not anticipating as much, right? That's when contracts are a little bit more affordable, right? So QQQ did have an environment with high IV, so is SPY, but not as high as QQQ. And IWM is going to be the top 2,000 small cap companies. You're looking at all the indices, right? And Dow, or the Dow Industrial Jones, and this is going to be the top 30 blue chip companies, right? So you have all of the 4 major indices, right, being able to be green month over month. VIX, we're seeing it trend down, and that's what we like. We like low volatility, right? But sometimes we can still make money in high volatility, like we seen back in April and March of this year. But May, we're looking at volatility levels being a little bit more down. And what moved the market, right, for this month? We had 3 big impacts. One was the NFP, which is the non-farmers payroll. We had an estimated of 62,000, but the actual that came out was 115,000. That was an 85% surprise, right? So that's one of those things that moved the market. One of the misses that kind of dragged the market was on the 21st. We had the Philly Fed meeting. Estimated was plus 18, but actual is negative 0.4. negative 102 percentage to price, excuse me, right? Then we have durable goods, right? Let me just talk about these things real quick so we can actually understand. Philly Fed. So the Philadelphia Fed survey manufactures its districts, right? So a positive equals expansion, negative equals contraction, right? On May 21st, it came in at negative 0.4. That equals contraction. Expected plus 18 points, right? Expansion. A near total miss. The factory activity flipped negative when everyone is expecting solid growth. It landed the fleet's worst week as money reloaded to defenses, right? So we had a little bit of a sector shift, right? Another one of those things is the non-farmers payroll, right? What is the non-farmers payroll? It's how many jobs the U.S. added the last month. A big beat usually pushes yields up. May 8th, the jobs nearly doubled the forecast, but the yields failed anyway. Cooler inflation data the same week told the markets rate hikes weren't coming, and the same week told the markets their rate hikes weren't coming back. That's a real Goldilocks read, and QQQ ripped on it, right? Then we have durable goods. One more thing before we finish. Durable goods orders for things built in the last 3 years, right? Like cars, appliances, aircrafts, and machineries. Rising orders means that the businesses are investing. May 28th, we had rising, right? 7.8 against the 3.5 expected, more than double. But income, came in flat, and inflation numbers cooled less than demand. So let's talk about now our month to date before I get into like the actual a few of the trades, right? Because I don't want to make this video too long, right? So one of the things that I learned throughout this month is that stop losses and being able to manage a position for the buy, it needs to be something that's a little bit more adaptive than fixed. What do I mean by that? So right now, most of our bots, have a stop loss that is a fixed number, meaning that whenever it loses 10% on a trade, all right, get me out of the position, like recoup as much capital as you can and then go on to the next position. But one of the things that I've been noticing is that some of these bots have been exiting on noise. So what we've implemented, and just a little bit of a pilot program, right? And we've seen it evident here with the numbers that are just turning around, right, is we're allowing the bots to be able to go a little bit deeper into the stop loss, meaning that we're going from a fixed 10% and maybe we'll go as high as 15, if not 20% for the stop loss, because what we're looking for is quick wins, right? Because one thing that I always say is that you don't go broke taking a profit. So if we could consistently take profits and let it compound over our account, and that's what we're looking for, right? So let's go. The first day that happened on May was a Friday, and that's kind of crazy because June's first day is going to be on a Monday. May's first day is going to be was on a Friday, so that's interesting. I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. And you can see historically, I mean, Mondays are kind of good, but it could be a slaughterhouse. You see here, let me just take a look at that real quick. On May 18th, 2026, we lost $146, 21% rate. A win rate. There were 15 trades. Out of those 15 trades, we won 4. Was the VIX was a little bit elevated, right? Average was 18.4. PC ratio was, I mean, it was not as bearish, but it's not too bullish as well. So what do I mean by that? Anything over 1 is going to be bearish, meaning that they think the market is going to go down. Anything less than 1 is going to be bullish. We're thinking that the market is going to go up, right? IWM was down, DIA was down, IW into SPY was down. Right, so let's just look at the trades. VWAPR, look at that. That's what I'm saying. One of these bots, another thing that I noticed is less is more, right? Even though we're still in the paper trading environment, like I've been allotting these bots to be able to trade sometimes 5, 10 times. Now I'm cutting that back, right? Some of these bots are only trading 1 time. You find one good setup, you make your money and you go, right? Yeah, most of these losses were, let's just look at this one real quick. So we were bullish on the market. We bought QQQ at the 705 level. We thought the market was going to go up. We bought it. We submitted a limit order for 175, but we actually got it filled at 172. But we exited at 158, right, at the 32 seconds. Right, so rather this is just one of those positions that didn't work out for us, right? Instead of ripping, QQQ had a bearish slide. that's what happened there. So let's look at a good day, right? One of the best days we had was this past Thursday. And when I'm recording this, this is May 31st, 2026. This past Thursday, we had Screeny Baby B. I say this bot is amazing. Let me just look at this trade real quick. This is a phenomenal trade, fam. A phenomenal little setup. We were bullish on SPY at the 751 level, right? So we're thinking the market was going to go up. We held the position for about 10 minutes. When we got into the position, it was $87. When we got out of position, it was $194. So we paid $87, but we made $194, right? Well over $100, right? So we're able to profit $107. Here's what you got to pay in fees, right? So this is not bad at all. We was able to catch SPY, excuse me, because this bot trades SPY. We was able to catch SPY on a bullish run, and this was a beautiful, beautiful trade from Screeny Baby, because remember Screeny Baby trades both SPY and QQQ, right? So one of the things that, again, I am just really excited about is that the fleet overall is turning positive, right? If we're just looking at it month to date for our fleet, we had 406 trades. Out of those 406 trades, I'm looking at 52%. Best day, we won $187. Worst day was 146. Average a day is about $11. And we're up for the month $215, right? And this is something I want to keep compounding on, right? Being able to consistently improve on our bots performance. So what I'm looking for in the month of June, right? I'm looking for being able to roll out maybe 2 or 3 new bots, right? And being able to keep up with them with you all. So I'm going to be dropping a little bit more videos about a little bit more about the process, right? Talking about the setups a little bit more and being able to allow you have y'all see like this day-to-day process, right? I'm not going to hold you. I've only been doing this just over a year now. And this coding thing, I'm still quite new at it, just over like a year, 2 years, right? So there's going to be a few times where I may make a mistake, right? I may misspeak on some things, but I always will correct myself. But nonetheless, it is your boy Creative. I really do appreciate y'all for fucking with us for another video. Go ahead and make sure you smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll be back at it again with another episode.